A statement by Jean and Panton, which has been making the rounds on social media, has been authenticated. Now, TVJ News on Wednesday made contact with the Justice of the Peace, whose signature is affixed to the document, who confirmed that he indeed signed the document. In the statement, Jean and Panton details the reasons for stealing the funds from unsuspecting clients. The statement, which was made to the management of Stocks and Securities Limited, is dated January 7, 2023, days before the multi-million-dollar fraud was made public at Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. However, the name of sprint legend Usain Bolt is not on the list of the persons which Panton named in her signed statement. The document details the intricate scheme of how she withdrew millions of dollars from the accounts of over 30 people at the Stocks and Securities Limited. But why did she take the money? In her statement, she said, quote, her father was diagnosed with cancer around 2010, and she was primarily responsible for her parents' care and finances, end quote. Ms. Panton said her father had to go overseas for treatment, and that's when she thought of borrowing money from the accounts of her clients. She said, quote, I don't know how I would pay it back, but that was a solution at the time, end quote. 3 years later, she noted, her father passed away, and again she went to her clients' accounts to fund the funeral expenses. She also noted that her brother tried to kill her mother, and he was committed to a home, which further lent to her digging into her clients' funds again, as she had to cover those expenses as well. Ms. Panton said the ravages of the COVID-19 pandemic and a reduced salary from her company, Stocks and Securities, led to her repeatedly withdrawing clients' funds to cover her various expenses. But how did she do it? The statement said she would use various mechanisms, such as editing a customer's email in an email thread, which would provide consent for the sale of clients' shares and make disbursements to the respective bearers. She says, as the wealth advisor, she would then make a request to the asset management team for the approval of the sale. Once the shares are sold, checks would be requested and given to forbearers who she trusted to change at the bank. The bearers would then take the money to her. Additionally, when clients requested funds, she would put more than what was requested. When those funds were delivered to her, the client would receive the amount they requested, and she would keep the remaining portion. In another case, she said an email request would be made which did not originate from the client, and the entire sum would be kept by her. She says to keep her scheme going, when clients would request the funds or a portion, she would borrow the funds from another account to make the requisite payments. According to the statement, Ms. Panton says she estimates that US $864,614.60 and 18,186,000 Jamaican dollars was fleeced from the accounts of her clients. Now, when we contacted the Justice of the Peace, whose signature is affixed to the statement, he confirmed that he signed the document, but did not read the contents. And we now join Andrea Chisholm, who is live at the Financial Services Commission press briefing, as we reported earlier. Andrea?
Well, thank you very much, Ashane. First of all, this press conference ended a few minutes ago. The Financial Services Commission, FSC, remained tight-lipped about specific issues linked to the multi-million-dollar fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. Executive Director of the FSC, Everton McFarlane, did describe the act as despicable, and he indicated that the FSC became aware of the fraud incident at SSL on Tuesday, October 10. It was SSL that informed the FSC by way of a letter. Now, as reported in primetime news on today is Wednesday, reported in primetime news on Tuesday, we told you that correspondence from the FSC that was released to the media, not from the FSC, information obtained by the media, indicated that the FSC said that the SSL had a culture of non-compliance and mismanagement of client funds. Now, journalists asked several questions in relation to the oversight responsibility of the FSC, talking about the trend analysis based on reports coming out of SSL. But the FSC has indicated that based on the investigations, they are unable to give any details and specifics about that. They did indicate, however, that to the best of their knowledge, the fraud in Jamaica, this has never happened on such a large scale. But the FSC is committed to ensuring that they continue to monitor and oversight and have responsibility for the rest of the financial institutions. But I must tell you that a number of the questions posed by journalists today were not answered because the FSC maintains that based on the investigation, they cannot share all the data at this time.
Who secretly works for Andrew thief $2 billion from Usain Bolt. And say goes out to Mari Andrew and give him back him money. Say when he goes out to Mari Andrew and give him back him money. That's right. Old Crankle Jew.